just for our understanding, I mean, JP's here and he's talking to Cliff. Is it just why? I mean, if you haven't changed, is he doing that because why, for our understanding, would JP be here if you haven't changed your stance at all? Is that just in case Cliff has something that he wants to talk to him about?
I don't. JP came in. He went to Pittsburgh today anyway, so he's been in town for other reasons too. But yeah.
Does it trouble you that some people would blame you and hold you responsible if you don't leave?
For what? Hold me responsible for what?
For somehow holding the Leafs back and not giving them the opportunity to improve.
I can't control that though, Rosie.
But it must. How do you feel inside about that?
What's that?
I mean, do you have to justify yourself to anybody?
I don't think what do you mean? That can't be. I don't think it's my problem though. You think?
I don't think so. No, I'm just asking you.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So why are you even asking me the question?
Because I want to know what you think.
What's that?
I want to know.
Yeah, I don't think it's my.
Hello.
What's that? No, but you're asking a question that you don't even believe in yourself.
No, but it doesn't matter. What I believe doesn't matter. I'm asking you what.
What's that? Sure it does.
I forgot the question.
But that's the whole point, though.
JP said last night that this was a kind of a difficult time for you because it was still up for sort of discussion. Is your heart kind of ripping a little bit right now?
Of course, it's a difficult situation. Of course.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think it'll be resolved before the end of the weekend? I mean, is this going to go right into Tuesday?
I don't know. My position hasn't changed. No. So I mean, it's not going to change.
Have you been asked to waive your no-trade clause yet? Or
what's that?
Have you been asked to waive your no-trade clause?
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's it. Thank you.
When did that happen?
Okay. What's that?
When did that happen?
A few days ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
And you said no.
What's that?
You said no. You definitively said
no. I've been thinking. I mean, the Leafs gave me a chance to think about all that, but as I said, my position hasn't changed since the start of the year.
But you didn't say yes or no to them. Please, come on.
Okay, yeah, give me a second. What's that?
You didn't definitively say to them yes, no. You said I will think.
No. He said you don't have to answer anything, but give us a chance to. Let me think about it. No, say it. Just relax, because I'm not sure. Let me think about exactly what was said and everything.
Take your time. That's amazing.
No. No. He asked if I wanted to go somewhere, and I said, or he said he'll give me a few days to think about it, and like my position in my heart and the way I've been thinking has never changed. I don't want to go anywhere else, so and that's where it stands today too.
Are you torn only because they asked you?
What's that?
Are you torn a little bit only because they asked you?
To
make it more difficult.
I mean, it's. I understand. I mean, we missed the playoffs 2 years in a row, and we're in a tough position this year again, third year in a row. So I understand the business part of it. That's just part of professional sports.
Mats, I don't want to put words in your mouth, so I just want to make. And I know you were trying to be clear.
Yeah.
But did he outright ask you, not just, or would you think about going someplace? But
like
did he say,
I don't remember exactly the wording.
Your
What's that?
Did he say would you waive? Will you waive? Did he put that question to you?
No, I don't think the exact words were that way.
Were you taken aback at all being asked to do something like that?
What's that?
Were you taken aback at all being asked to waive your no trade clause?
What do you mean taken back?
Were you somewhat surprised, or?
Not really. I think you know, as I said, the position we're in, we missed the playoffs 2 years in a row, and we're in a tough position this year again. That's just, I mean, that happens to all teams and all players. So not really, no.
Would you feel badly guilty having to go back to Cliff and say, look, it's in my contract, it's my right, I'm not
What's
going?
that?
Would you feel badly having to say to Cliff,
I just think
negotiated that clause, you know, it's your
no,
right.
I think I have to do what feels right in my heart. I mean, I just don't think I can go to another team if I don't want to go to another team, or play for another team that I don't want to play for. I think that wouldn't be right to myself, and you know, that's the way it feels right now.
You said it'd be very hard to put on another uniform midstream. Is that very much part of your thinking process? Right?
I never believed in rent a player to start with, and I think if you want to be a part of a team that's going to have a chance to win the Stanley Cup, or a team that is going far in the playoffs, my opinion always been that you want to be there from training camp and start of a season to be part of the group, and that's another reason too.
Is it flattering at all that so many teams are interested in you then, at least?
I don't even know what teams are interested in. I haven't really followed that part of it. I'm just trying to solve my own situation there.
Everybody knows the deadline is Tuesday, but is there a reasonable expectation where you're going to, make it 100% one way or the other? Would it be sometime this weekend, would you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to change. I mean, I can't see for what reason it would.
Matt, how much does quality of life, and I mean, you've been in this business for such a long time now, but how much is, personal quality of life factor into the decision as opposed to just winning a Stanley Cup outright now?
What do you mean?
Well, just in terms of, it seems like it's a comfortable situation here in Toronto, where as opposed to going a road, packing your bags, and going off somewhere for 2 months or 3 months.
You know what? I think if I would have been 27 or 28 or younger, I probably would have gone somewhere right away when a team is or if you're asked to go somewhere else, I probably would go right away. So that would have been a different situation. I think where I'm at in my career, I'm 37 years old, and I played it year by year, and not even sure if I'm going to play hockey next season, and I'm going to make a decision this summer whether or not I'm going to play another year. So just by the situation I am personally, it's a reason for my decision. It has nothing to do with the comfort of life is good everywhere in the league or in the city in North America, wherever you live. I don't know. I don't understand the question. Where would that make it?
No, but I mean, as opposed to, you clearly have roots tied down here for the last 13 plus years or so, and going somewhere, living out of a suitcase for
that has nothing to do with it all.
But how about being a Torontonian? What does that mean to you?
What's that?
Being a Torontonian, what does that mean to you?
Well, Toronto has been my home for 13 years, so I'm very comfortable here. And that is a part of why I feel the way I feel too, for sure.
If one of these teams that would perhaps like to trade for you would be willing to offer you a contract extension for next year, would that come into it, or do you still want the summer to make a decision?
Yeah, I just don't. I can't commit to anyone for next season in terms of how I feel, and I want to make sure I want to play this season out, and as I said to you guys all the time, I want to listen to my body, see how I feel physically and mentally, if I can get ready for another year at this stage of my career.
Not even the Leafs. Are you saying that you would, if you decide to play another year, it's not necessarily with Toronto, regardless of what happens at the trade deadline?
What?
If you decide over the summer that you are coming back, which I expect you will, not necessarily with Toronto?
I haven't
despite what happens at the trade deadline?
No, I mean, I don't. It doesn't matter. I mean, we'll see what happens this summer, and I played this season out, and as I said, I'll look at my options then.
This is going to be difficult, but I think most of us expected it to get to this just simply because of how well you've played this year, and you're only on the 1-year contract. It probably couldn't have caught you too much by surprise.
No. I tell you, and listen, that's part of the business of hockey. When we missed the playoffs 2 years in a row, when now we're on a verge the third year, we're in a tough position. So obviously, this is part of a business of hockey. We're in a winning industry, and that's everybody's have to be accountable. That's just part of it, and so it's no surprise.
Would you be hesitant about wanting to come back here if you were traded from this organization? And you'd have the option, I guess, to come back.
I haven't even considered it, to be honest with you. I haven't even thought about it.
In terms of the business of it, how do you feel about how it's unfolding?
What's that?
How do you feel about how it's unfolding?
It's never a fun situation to be in, I think, when you're... but I think more importantly for us as a team, it's a disappointing situation we're in. We still have a chance to make the playoffs, but that's kind of the only thing I'm worried about is that we missed the playoffs 2 years in a row, and as I said, we're in a tough situation this year again. So that's what's disappointing about all of this. The other stuff is nothing you can control about, but the other stuff comes upon you when you're not winning.
You sort of answered this already, but are you somehow upset at Cliff or disappointed that he's asked you, or do you understand?
No, I'm not. I mean, Cliff's got to do what he's got to do. That's part of, as I said, that's part of business. He's trying to do whatever is best for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Do you expect, Matt, permitting, that we'll see you in the lineup in blue and white against Florida Wednesday?
I hope so. I hope so.
Are you playing? You're playing tonight?
I hope so. Yeah.
Matt, so is there one main factor that would make you consider waiving the no trade clause?
Was that?
Is there one factor that would make you consider waiving the no trade clause?
Nothing that I know yet. Anyway.